Hey, what's up, everybody, y'all, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to Talk That Ish. We are live right now on BE100. I'm Sabrina Jones, your host. You know what time it is. What's up, Larry? How you doing, man?
I'm great, baby. How y'all doing? It's your boy Larry. You know Larry Blue 1914 underscore. Y'all know where to find me.
And also, y'all, I know we don't see Felicity, but she won't be here today. But we do have an amazing guest. First of all, I would like to say thank you, Onyx Keesha, for joining Talk That Ish tonight. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you are welcome. I'm so excited.
We are too. We are too.
Yeah, too. But Larry, as we go ahead and start this thing off, it is Thursday, October the 10th. We pray that everybody was safe and made it okay during the Hurricane Milton and everybody where they need to be. Okay.
Okay, because the mayor said, baby, if you stay here, you're gonna die. So I hope you took her advice.
Okay, but the crazy part is though, like they wanted it to be like 30 feet, but it didn't sound like it was really that high.
I don't know if I hadn't been following the news like this evening. Is it over? Has it hit and done? Or are they still going through it down there? Do anybody know?
I think it's settling down, but I know it's another one coming. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Jesus Christ. And I don't know if y'all saw it. One of the representatives down there, he went online and said, if you decide to stay, get you a permanent marker and write your birthday on your body so when we find your bodies, we can identify you. Curry representatives are crazy, are out of line, baby. They out of line.
They ready though. Hey, at least, hopefully they get all of the needs they need down there and get all the help and FEMA come through and Congress come off vacation, stuff like that. But hey.
I hope everybody's safe.
All right. So what we talking about today, Larry? What we got?
Okay, I want to talk about gender roles in the LGBT community. And what sparked this last Friday, I was sitting in the barbershop, with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation sparked on how they miss, women back in the day, how, women used to cook dinner and do blah, 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 and women were women. So that kind of sparked this conversation. So I want to know, I'm speaking to two ladies who are in relationships. I kind of want to know, do you guys follow the heterosexual norm of, gender roles? What do you do? What do you do different? And I also kind of want to know where finances play in it also. Sometimes finances make a play. So who kind of want to dive in? I'm curious. Who want to go first? Who want to go first?
Well, listen, I am all about gender roles.
Okay, talk to me.
And I don't necessarily think my wife is.
Okay.
But I am very much like, nah, I'm not taking the trash out. Why do I have to pay for this? But I'm also very much like, okay, what do you want for dinner?
Okay.
Let me pack your lunch.
Okay.
And just being that, in my mind, what I think a wife should be when it comes to gender, just very nurturing or submissive or just really taking care of certain things. I don't want to kill a bug,
Okay.
I don't want
to.
Howsoever.
Okay. So I'm okay with assuming that your wife is some more masculine.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you have no problem with that role of, like I said, being a wife, making sure everything's clean and right. Everybody right. Do y'all have children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, making sure everybody right, doing the mom stuff I'm used to, making sure the kids right for school, home's clean. Yeah. Even though you may work and do your thing too, you making sure home is fine. So
in my head, that is exactly what it is. Okay, in my head.
Okay, in your head, that's what's happening. Okay.
So, however,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in reality,
okay,
my wife would have a very different story, and she's not about the gender role. She is like, we're two women. Guess what? If there's a snake in the garden, I'm not getting it. I'm screaming, and we're calling somebody. And I had to adjust to that.
A 50-50. We're gonna call somebody together. So I want to know this too then. Okay, so I kind of got an idea of what kind of goes on in the home. I want to know, does finances play a role in that too? 'Cause I know, sometimes when someone is a breadwinner, mm-hmm. I guess they are looked at more as the head. Is that mm-hmm. your situation?
So, in almost all of my past relationships, I was definitely the one who was financially taken care of. Like, I didn't pay bills. I didn't do any of that. This is the first relationship where we are equally contributing to our future.
Okay.
And I don't even like to say, because it's not like 50. If I didn't work, she would hold it down
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Okay. We
However,
like her. I like her.
yeah, however, we equally contribute to our home and to our future. And this is very new to me. I've never experienced it, but I feel so much more empowered than I did when I was being taken care of.
Okay.
Good way to
Um.
look at it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get. Now I'm gonna ask the same question, but I'm gonna get a little bit more personal. Um. Does she take care more of the heavier side of the bills? I'm trying to see if this is a 50-50 thing, or she take more of the more of the weight.
So I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I make a really good amount of money.
Okay.
So because I make a good amount of money, I contribute at a higher percentage to our home. However, before I started making this money, she paid all the bills. She paid the rent. She paid every single house bill. I was responsible for food because I was cooking the food. So the whole first maybe year of our relationship, she was the one holding it down. But now, because I'm making six figures in the six figures, I'm
Ching
able
ching.
I'm able to contribute more, and she still makes an amazing salary, but it's kind of like, you know what, baby, I will take care of saving for, our vacation. I will take care of these extra things. I will help build your studio because I have the extra income.
I love that. And I'm gonna dive in real quick, Sabrina. Because I'm not in a relationship right now, but in my past relationships, I'm not a 50-50 person. I believe in the guys I've dated, I believe in whoever has the higher salary take on the more responsibility. And then in my relationship, a lot of times I've been the one that made the more in salary, and I have no issue with taking care of more of the bills, because how I look at it as I make more money. So I don't have any issues paying more of the bills, because at the same time, I don't want to do 50-50, because I might do 50-50 and I'm chilling over here and you 50-50 and you struggling, or you're broke. I don't like that. I want to be able to, if I'm saving some money in the bank, I want you to be able to save some money in the bank. Or if you want the new PlayStation 5, you got savings, you can go get the PlayStation 5 because you got money just like I got money. So me personally, I have no problem paying more of the bills if I'm the breadwinner. Now, if my partner's the breadwinner, I hope, well, before we even got there, I hope they feel the same way, because I'm gonna expect them to pay more of the bills if they're the more of the breadwinner. I don't have an issue paying bills or anything. I feel like that's my opinion. I feel like that's fair to me.
Mhm.
But that's how a lot of guys I talk to say, oh, we're 50-50 or no. So, but I'm not a 50-50 person.
So
Mhm.
Larry, so since we're going into gender roles, okay,
Okay.
since we're gonna turn this back on you,
Okay.
buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So how do you, I mean, other besides financial, how do you
Okay.
perceive yourself as far as a gender role?
And I'm being it's so weird, because like we're both guys. I'm being honest, I'm a sexual wise, I'm a verse person. Um
So you a top and bottom.
yeah, I'm top and bottom. Because that's a good question, Sabrina. I'm trying to answer that as truthfully as possible.
Mhm.
I've been in two relationships. The first person I dated was more top, and I have no problem, taking a slack or being led. I actually like to be led sometimes. I have no problem being led, but and then the second relationship, I was more of the top, and I actually like, because I'm gonna take charge. I like to lead anyway, so I have no problem leading too. Um, so, and then I guess when it comes to like cooking, I like to cook anyway. I like to cook. My mom, I'm from the country. My mom didn't play that. We cleaned up every day. So
Mhm.
cleaning is nothing for me. Cleaning up is nothing for me. That's actually that's how I relieve stress. So I don't know what you would call it, because I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind cooking. I've always worked. I'm always gonna get up and go to a 9 to 5 or something. So I don't
So
know. As far
so
as that part.
the men that you date, are they more feminine or they're more masculine?
The first guy I dated was a little bit more masculine, and the second guy was a little bit more kind of feeling with a balance with me. But the first
Mhm.
guy was more masculine. That's the one that kind of took charge. He led.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the second guy, we were pretty much a good balance. And I feel like I led because I don't know. I just feel like I led. I was more of a leader. He was more of a follower.
Okay.
So I led. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
It's
that's a good
so
question, because you get different answers with we so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, on this end, I mean, I know you, but on this end, I would perceive you to be more like the feminine one.
Yeah.
If I was to think off the first rip of looking at you, you know what I'm saying? So, learn something new every time.
Baby. I like to take charge sometimes, baby, because I actually like a submissive guy. I actually like a submissive guy now. Okay, now,
Yeah,
just saying.
I just think it's so interesting because gender roles are, it's just such a complex um, topic.
Mhm.
And the way that we view gender roles is rooted in so many negative things, you know? So I know as I've gotten older, my whole idea of gender roles has really expanded.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
like that because when you do hear it, you automatically think negative. But
yeah,
I guess things are what you make it because it don't have to be
Mm-mm.
negative. I guess it's just like you said, it's kind of what you make it.
yeah,
Yeah. And I love being the
Okay, because like I said, I don't mind leading because I feel like I'm gonna be honest. If I'm the breadwinner, I kind of feel like I got more say, which I'm not saying that's how I should be, but I feel like I got a little bit more power. We ain't going to this show. We're gonna sit down and that's what we're gonna do.
Oh
yeah,
my
But when the role is flipped, I don't mind being led sometimes because sometimes I don't mind taking the passenger seat. I get tired of driving.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So jumping on to you, Sabrina, how is it kind of in your home? Do y'all kind of follow the heterosexual norms, or is it kind of we do it? What do y'all do?
um, a little bit, but not a lot. We've been together for so long
Okay.
that that sometimes those gender roles and what you thought were
Hmm.
are now as equal,
Okay.
right? Because now, I mean, before, yeah, let me take out the trash. Let me be, let me be this masculine. Let me take care of you. I
Yeah.
still take care of her financially.
Yeah.
That I do,
Yeah.
and she take care of things like at the home, and she makes sure, because I work a lot,
Yeah.
so she makes sure I'm eating. She makes sure that the kids taken care of. So there's some when I say there's a balance in how we take care of things because I take care of things financially and she take care of things in home. So
Okay.
it doesn't feel more or less like somebody's doing more than the other. Because
Okay.
sometimes you think that just because financially, but then understanding that taking care of a kid and making sure everything in the house is just as
Okay.
important
It's a lot of work
as
at
it
that
is
house.
to bringing his bills. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So she'll take out the trash. She'll do some things. She's feminine, but not as feminine. Like she don't mind. Like I think that's part from growing up from her mom. They
Okay.
don't mind getting dirty. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like there's sometimes
Where's she from? What country? What state she from? Where's she from?
she's from New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Louisiana, baby. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you.
So yeah, she's a strong cookie. Her mom's strong. So but I think it's amazing though. Like I say, we've been together for so long that the roles that you thought we had, we don't have them anymore.
Kind of. So, what do you mean by that? Break that down a little bit for me.
All right, so like I said, when at the beginning it was all about me being the masculine one, and you don't have to lift the finger and let me do this, let me open the doors, and then as time went on, I open the door sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
I still make her feel special, but there's still some things that I think that um after being for so long, and sometimes it can be a bad thing,
Okay.
right? Because when you need to be, sometimes you need to go back to who you used to be. I don't
Okay.
know if that makes sense.
It does.
When you been with somebody for so long, you sometimes lose a way onto how you used to be, and you
Okay.
become something different.
Okay. You sparked the question. You sparked the question when you said something a second ago.
Well,
So with those roles and things, like I said, well, I know you wasn't changed involved, but you're more the person that makes sure she's good and takes care of her. With you being maybe the, let's say, the more masculine or whatever, do you still get what you need far as I don't want to say attention, cause like in heterosexual roles, the man always gifting the woman and buying gift for the woman, and we look and we like, does she ever buy him a gift? That type of stuff. Does she make sure you're good and gift you and surprise you? Do the little things for you too. A lot of times the guy always gets get left in the dirt sometimes.
That is
We get the
so
necktie and you
fascinating to
find
me
rings and jewelry. So I wanna know.
because I don't feel like my stereotype, because that's what I feel like we're talking about gender roles.
Yeah, yeah.
In my head, I don't even see the man or masculine energy who's providing buying gifts.
Mhm.
Like I feel like in every situation that I have seen in my head, that it's the wife who is in charge of buying the gifts and
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and her part of the back and forth is, how come I don't get any flowers, but
Yeah.
it's a part it's like a part of that cycle, that
You,
dynamic.
you so I'm sorry, you so right, because when I talk to my female friends, that's exactly what they say. They had to get their friends or somebody to talk to him or coach him that Valentine's is coming. Do something special for me. So you so right. It's always the woman that's always the one who's more giving and stuff like. Oh, you so right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I think giving in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the person who has a lot of feminine energy maybe is more attentive
Mm-hmm.
and insightful to things. And if we're going with stereotypes, they're also, because they're home, they're seeing things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Masculine energy who's constantly working and tired and
Mm-hmm.
is giving, but giving by providing
Yeah.
rather than stopping and getting flowers.
yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, because I do give her flowers, but they're not as often as they used to be.
Okay.
Mhm,
But she still gets them from time to time.
mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes she'll buy her own damn flowers, to be honest.
Say that.
Oh, okay. Look at y'all. Look at y'all being good wives. I can't wait to be in
I
y'all
mean,
shoes.
but I think that's a part of, like, when you with somebody for so long, it's the growth of it,
Yes.
right? It's and we always talk about this: pick and choose your battles, because not all battles is worth choosing, right? So sometimes you have to be like, I'm gonna let this go. This ain't even worth every
She can
time.
have it. She can have this one.
She can have this one. She can, yeah, okay, cool. You know what I mean? But I mean, at the end of the day, though, it takes work. So either way, it takes work to be
Yeah.
happy and unhappy. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How many years have you been in, if you don't mind me asking?
Me.
Yeah, how many years you been in?
I will be celebrating my 2-year wedding anniversary
Okay.
next month.
Next
Uh,
month?
yes,
Okay.
11/11.
Nice
Okay.
11,
Okay.
11.
Congratulations early.
Thank you, thank you. So we haven't been together that long. We were engaged pretty early on, so it's probably been about 3 years total.
Okay. That would be still kind of
Maybe
newish, right? That's still kind of newish and fresh, right?
Yeah, yeah, new and fresh, but the issues still arise,
Yeah.
and we still have to be intentional. But I also think, because I'm older,
Okay.
I feel like being in a relationship in my 40s is so different than any other relationship because we don't have time to play.
Yeah. And we
So
wiser
it's
too.
like we're getting down to it. If there's an issue, let's go ahead and let's correct it. Like all of that, like we don't have time to waste. We're in the throes of life, and
Yeah.
we want to be successful, so there's no playing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Larry, I mean, and would you say your longest relationship has been 3 years?
3 years. Both
Mm,
those relationships last 3 years.
Yeah.
mm,
So,
mm.
all right. Well, cool.
Hey. Okay. I like learning something from y'all. Before we wrap it up, do anybody have any input? Anything they want to throw in there? Um. Well, I'm gonna one more thing. Finances. Do everybody make finances work well for their homes? Do everybody do the separate bank accounts, and do we do one bank account for bills, or everybody should do their own thing? I'm just curious because I'm not in there yet. What do y'all do? What works for your home?
Well, at one point we used to have one,
Okay.
and now we have two. We have two separate accounts.
Okay.
Mhm.
Both parties got their own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about the
Yeah,
same for you?
yeah. That's how we do it.
Okay.
We break down what
And
everybody
one
gets.
of the reasons for me it became more because with her making her own money, I wanted to make sure that she was able to do what she wanted to with her
Yeah,
money.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know what I'm
So that's
saying?
what I would want to with my
I
partner.
was stressed about the bills on who get John paid, Paul Root. You know what I'm saying? I would do that.
Yeah.
But the moment like she, she does the cakes and stuff. So when she makes her money, I like her to be able to feel financially free
Yeah.
and to be able to feel, because when somebody feels that way, they
Yes,
feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
Being
saying?
on the other side, I understand.
You know what
Happy
I'm
wife,
saying?
happy wife, happy home.
Yeah, like if she just go to the store without asking, can she go to the
Yeah.
store and get some money to go get whatever she wants, a avocado or whatever, she can just go to the store and go get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I never want my partner to be dependent on me to where they got to ask me for allowance. I never want those type of situations where they feel like they got to depend on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be there and have their back if they need me, and I'm there, but I don't want them to feel like they have to depend on me.
But see, when you have a same account, you have to discuss everything that comes in and out because you both
Yeah.
are responsible for that money.
Yeah,
Right.
I need you $300. Why you bought $300 Jordans the other day, and we got some bills coming up.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So when you have your own account, you realize, well, shoot, I'll give you this much and you do whatever you want to do with it and you keep the rest. You know what I mean? So that's how it works for us.
For us too. You know, like I
Mhm.
said, my wife, she makes a really good salary, and it allows her to um take her whatever she gives me to paying the bills. You know, I pay the bills, but she's able to, you know, not just buy stuff for herself, but her personal savings, you know,
Yeah.
or
Boy.
her, you know, buying the engagement ring, like things like that, you know, that I don't feel like I necessarily want to be a part of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Great job. So anyway, Onyx, we do have you on here, so I definitely want to make sure we get to the main topic. It is Breast Cancer Month, and you do have an, is it a novel? Is it a book? What? How do we?
Yeah, it's a book. It is
Okay.
a self-help book.
Okay.
It is called Facing It Together.
Okay.
Um, and it is about how to fight with and for your loved one on their breast cancer journey.
Okay. Oh my God, don't make me sad, okay? I'm ready though.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your journey so that the listeners can kind of understand how you got to the point of writing the book.
Absolutely. So I am a proud breast cancer survivor. Um, you know, I got cancer for my 40th birthday. So I tell everybody I turned 40, and a couple months later, I got a diagnosis on New Year's Day that it was cancer, and it sat me down.
Was it
And
a regular checkup? Were you just going for a regular checkup, or you saw
I did a self check,
okay.
and I felt a lump.
Okay.
And, you know, I went to the doctor and I got a mammogram and all that stuff and some biopsies. So I was, um, you know, fully aware that it was a possibility after I found the lump. But, you know, God sat me down
Yeah.
and my entire life changed. And my father had lung cancer. I found out I had breast cancer while he was battling his lung cancer. And unfortunately, he did not make it. And he died the day before my first surgery. And so the road for me looked like surgeries and um, 20 weeks of chemo and 9 weeks of radiation, and I'm still on medication and mourning my dad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so grateful because it completely changed me. And this book was born out of the fact that I realized so many people around me just didn't know how to help me. They didn't know what to say. They didn't
Can I
know how to
chime
do
in?
it.
Can I? I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm curious. When you find out what it was.
Mhm.
My question is, how fast does the ball go to rolling? Do they just did everything start immediately? Like next week we got a scan, we got a surgery next week. We got this. Does everything go back to back, or is it time passing by a couple months before we do this?
Mm. Yeah, so unfortunately, you know, it's not as quick as I feel like the person who has the diagnosis would like,
Mhm.
because you are literally feeling like there's something killing me in my body. There's something toxic. And why are you not doing something to get it out now? So from the time that I felt the lump until I had my first surgery, it was probably about 60 days, maybe a little bit longer. And so, but for someone who's on their journey, that might as well be 5 years,
Yeah.
because all you're thinking is it getting bigger? Is it spreading? You know?
Mm-hmm.
while the doctors are doing all the tests and, you know, thinking about what your treatment plan is.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay. And then so once you realize it and you was going through your process, right?
Mhm.
You were saying that your family didn't know what.
Yeah, and not even like, not just my family, like my close friends, you know, the people I was in situationships with at the time, you know, they just did not really know what to say, what not to say, how to say it, how not to say it, how to show up for me. And even though in the book, it's not this isn't like a map, like say this, don't say this.
Mhm.
Rather, what it does is it gives you insight to what your loved one might be feeling, what they might be fearing, what they might be battling with. And it helps you to figure out how to approach them, how to show up for them, how to be there for them, being informed with what they're going through.
Mhm.
That's so important because again, you don't know what to say. You don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
react because a lot of people don't know except for really really close friends. I'm a very emotional person, and if one of
Mm-hmm.
my good friends or family members came to me and said, "Hey, I got breast cancer," I can't. I'm a person I can't hold it together, and I hate that. I don't want to do that in front of them, but I can't hold it together.
Yeah.
So, oh, it's devastating for me, like it is almost as it is for the person going through the process.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like that's okay. And I feel like trusting that that person who's going through the diagnosis knows that about you. Oftentimes the person who is starting their battle, they feel like they have to be strong for everyone else.
Mhm.
And in some ways, that is comforting. It gives them a sense of normalcy instead of everyone just pitying them or feeling bad for them, but at the same time, just being really aware of what this experience is like for them. Whether this is your mom, your cousin, your sister, your best friend, you know, how do you show up for them? And that's what the book really talks about.
Okay.
Okay. Do you
And
have a couple of inserts? Maybe you can give us some examples of.
Sure, absolutely. It might just take a moment for me to find it so we could keep talking, but
oh
yeah.
no,
Okay, yeah, definitely.
you good.
So, but
You just got
I can understand that though because like you really don't know what to say. Like I'm the kind like somebody say something like that. I'm kind of just the quiet one. I ain't saying nothing. I'm letting you lead the conversation, and but at the same time, I'm still trying to stay positive as if you
Yeah.
don't. You know what I mean?
it's
So
Yeah.
hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
it is
Yeah.
hard.
And that's one of the things that we talk about. I actually found a spot, but one of the things we talk about is like sometimes saying like being positive um, for the person going through it could make them feel like their journey is not validated or not seen. Even though your intention is to be like, hey, we're not focused, you are not your disease, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For the person, it could feel like they are not being seen. And in chapter 14, it's about avoiding hurtful comments, and it's really talking about the importance of thoughtful communication. And so when you see someone you care about is facing a breast cancer diagnosis, your words can have a powerful impact both in a positive way and in a negative way. Even the best intentions, certain comments can cause unintended harm or emotional distress. So it's essential to be mindful of what you say and how it may be received by your loved one. And we talk about like everything happens for a reason,
Yeah.
right? That's a comment that,
Yeah.
you know, the best intentions, you
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
on the other side of my cancer journey, oh hell yeah, it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything happened inside my cancer journey. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm the one shaving my head and you know can't function in the world. And so, you know, I break down this phrase that it's often used to offer comfort, suggesting that there's a larger purpose behind the suffering, but it can feel dismissive of the real pain and fear that cancer brings. It implies that the person suffering is a part of some predetermined plan, but that can be very difficult to accept when you are in it. And it could lead to feelings of frustration and anger. So instead of saying that, how else can you word what you want to say, you know? And it's more so about being really mindful of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because your words have power.
Yeah, words definitely have power.
Mm-hmm.
When you found out, were you married already or dating your wife at this time? When
So
you found
I wasn't, but I was dating.
out? Okay, so
You know,
this was before her. 'Cause I want to know how she handled this. So this is before her.
oh, it was before her, but she even still now has a hard time just thinking about what I went through, and she's the one who's had to deal with my healing afterwards. So there's this fear where, you know, I can sneeze and I'm terrified, like, oh my gosh, cancer is coming back. Like that's the state of mind it puts you in. So she has had to learn how to navigate all of that after, and we talk about that in the book, because just when you get the when you ring the bell
Mm-hmm.
and they're like you're in remission or it's gone, it's
Mm-hmm.
not the end.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the journey.
When you finish the process, do they encourage you to see a counselor or anything? Because
Yeah,
you hit on some good points when you said that's not the end. And anytime I sneeze, because I would think that too. You're right. I'm gonna think negative. So they do encourage you to see a counselor.
Absolutely. So, oftentimes I say that surviving breast cancer is harder than going through the battle. And that is hard to receive unless you went through it, you know, because I lived in a prison of fear. I'm just now getting out of the prison of fear, right? I can't move forward in my life because this cloud is over me. But when you get a breast cancer diagnosis and you are a part of a hospital or a treatment center that, you know, has a solid community, you are offered, you're given a social worker. You are, and the social worker helps you navigate just things like if you can't work now, you know, resources that might help you. And you're also given an opportunity to talk to a therapist to help you through it. And then there's support groups. And after treatment, they're still with you for a while, so you're able to navigate that. It's part of the whole treatment plan.
While you're going through it, do you try to live your life even though I'm going through this? Do I try to live my life day to day as normal as possible? Is it I
Yeah.
still get up and go to work if I'm still feeling fine? And
Uh-huh. So for me, you know, and I know my story is not everyone's story. I am, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and I am a producer and a director. So throughout my entire cancer journey, from the first chemo treatment to the last radiation, I was producing a play. I was directing a play. I was traveling every week. I was traveling to produce in another state. And that is for me what helped me to get through it, because I was still creating. Yeah.
okay.
Art heals, but I had to also be really aware and know if I got chemo on a Wednesday, I only had till Friday where I felt good. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm feeling just real tired and exhausted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best way I could describe it is you feel like a shadow of yourself or untethered to yourself. And that is worse than feeling tired. It's worse than feeling nauseous. It's like you don't have a sense of self. Like the chemo has separated you. So you are I just felt like a shadow of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And mentally that was very challenging for me.
I can imagine. How long was your battle? How long was your battle?
So, you know, I did 6 months of chemo, which was just an incredibly long time. And I am still, like I said, on treatment, you know, and I'm going to be on treatment for the next, you know, 7+ years. So the battle, the cancer may not be there, but the battle is ongoing. And I think that's the case for any person who has the breast cancer diagnosis. And I think that's important for the loved ones to know that it's for the rest of your life, you know,
Yeah.
because even if the physical cancer is not in my body, the cancer of what it did to my emotions and my spirituality is still there.
Hmm. So how often do you have to go back for those types of checkups?
Hmm.
The same.
So I went from going to the doctor every week, sometimes twice a week, to every 2 weeks. And so now I only have to see my oncologist every 6 months and my surgeon every 6 months. And I only have to get a mammogram once a year. And this is just for 2024. Prior to that, I would have to, get a mammogram every 3 months. And
Hmm.
which is not an easy thing to do. But I also declined a treatment, a medication that required me to get this really big needle in my stomach every 4 weeks.
Hmm.
And so I did that for maybe a year. And then I decided that um, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And you think about your quality of life over the quantity of the years. And so it's not so much that it would shorten my life. It's just that that was a part of the treatment plan that I didn't want to do anymore because it required me to one, go through pain every month, which was a reminder of what of what I went through. And also I had to be like in one place, and I travel an awful lot, so that was challenging. But those are the decisions that you make after your diagnosis. How do you prevent it from coming back? And the reality is, you know we don't know.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does breast cancer run in your family? Do you have any close family members that had breast cancer?
No. And they did the genetic testing, and they didn't find it, that it was in my genetics, because I have two sisters. It was really important for me to get the genetic testing in case they needed to prepare. So no, my breast cancer was not that. However, so many things, including stress, environmental issues, cause breast cancer. Like, it's not just a genetic thing. It has to do with diet. It has to do with stress. It has to do with your environment. It has to do with so much. And for me, a lot of the moments leading up to my diagnosis, I was living an unhealthy life. And I'm not talking unhealthy like eating wise. I'm talking about just spiritually and the stress level. It was very toxic.
Hmm. Hmm. So during that process, were you more afraid of losing your hair or your breast or anything?
So, you know, after my first chemo treatment, I had a pink warrior party, because I love to entertain.
Okay.
And my hairstylist, who was my hairstylist for years, came to the house, and I invited all my friends, and she shaved my hair off for me.
Hmm.
And it was more emotional for everyone in the room watching it than it was for me.
Yeah,
I
Hmm.
just
I would be
needed
devastated.
Oh
I would.
yeah, it was Kia's the one who did it. When she was shaving my head, she was crying, you
Hmm.
know, but I felt that I could at least control something, because when you have cancer, you feel out of control. But so my head was bald, but this was a moment that I wasn't prepared for. Like, they tell you you lose your hair, but they don't tell you you lose your hair everywhere.
Mm.
Everywhere. And I went to take a nap, and I woke up and my eyebrows were gone. They were gone. They had fallen out. And I was devastated.
I
Um,
said.
you lose everything. And that is also a part of the reason why this book is important, because the person who's going through it, in it, it's not so easy to articulate what's happening,
Yeah.
right? So, you cannot go to them and say, well, what are you fearing? Or you can't. But if you have a guide or a person to tell you, hey, they're going to lose their hair everywhere, you're prepared to support them when that happens. Now, when they told me I might have had to have a double mastectomy, I was very upset because I love my cleavage and I love my breast, and I was just like, how like am I even going to be a woman?
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
but thank God my surgeon, an amazing Black woman, she said to me,
So
listen,
important to have a black. It's so important to have a black doctor.
yeah, and that is my platform. That is, it is not just about women, and of course breast cancer is, and women of color, but I am really driving home this point that Black women are dying 40% more than white women from breast cancer. And there are many factors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those factors is they get it younger. We get it younger. I was only 40, um, and they get it's easier for them to get a more aggressive form of breast cancer. And, advocating for healthcare when it comes to Black women is already a challenge. It doesn't matter how affluent you are. It doesn't matter, what community you live in, what car you drive. When you go into the emergency room, you have a very distinctive experience as a Black woman, and that translates all the way to your checkups, to everything. And what's also important for my community, because we talked about gender roles. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, the masculine of center women, the studs, the women who don't always seem connected to their femininity, neglect the fact that they still have breasts,
Mm.
and they don't get checked. They don't do the self checks. They don't go to the doctor. They don't get the mammograms. And when you let breast cancer go unchecked, that's when it becomes very dangerous. Black women discover that they have breast cancer at a later stage than most women.
Because we don't get checked out, don't go as normal as we should.
Yeah, and it's hard because they don't want to give you a at least now you can be 40 getting a mammogram, right? But let's put this into perspective. Black women get it earlier, and this could be 30, this could be 35. However, insurance doesn't cover your mammogram until you're 40, unless there's a special request for it. Now, you go to your doctor and you are concerned. It is really your doctor's discretion to decide if you're going to be sent for a mammogram. And I remember when I was in my early 30s, it was like, you have large breasts, so they're lumpy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna happen. You don't
Neglect,
you don't you don't need you
neglect.
don't need it yet. You
Yeah,
don't need the mammogram yet. The only reason I was able to get mammograms as often as I was because I had a breast cancer scare when I was 33. And because I had that breast cancer scare, they bumped me up and they said, okay, it's not cancer, but you can get a mammogram every year. That's why when I found my lump and I called my doctor, I was able to get a mammogram. But that's not everyone's story.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize the insurance. A lot of places insurance won't cover it if you're not a certain age. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
And
mean, the doctor can get them to cover it, but we have to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah,
Like, that is the crazy thing.
so when you was talking about like the people in my community, I was just kind of curious because there's a couple of things I wanted to know. And so I wanted to know, like, for instance, we have trans men, trans women in our community, and they said cisgender women are easily the largest gender demographic affected by breast cancer. But transgender men, trans women, and non-binary also, along with cisgender men, can also develop the disease.
Absolutely. First of all, breast cancer is not limited to women. Like, before we even get into our community, all
Mm-hmm.
right, men can get breast cancer, and it's not as rare as we like to think it is. They can get it. Now, when we talk about um an F to M, right? Trans man. So prior to transition, that it was very important to be on top of health and be on top of all of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, after the transition, whether you have top surgery or not, it's still super important to be aware of your breast cancer can still come, because it can come for men, but it also can come when your anatomy was that of a female.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super important, and I feel like, at least for me, because I know a lot of trans men. I love trans men, so I know a lot of them, and I feel like most of them are very on top of their health, because
Okay.
they have to be, because they are taking tea, and they so they have to be, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
However,
Good.
when it comes to our studs, I don't really know.
No.
I don't know how important it is. If they're disconnected from their body, then it's not so easy to walk into your doctor and say, "Hey, I want a mammogram." I
And
Yeah.
mean,
I wanted those things too, because you do have those in our community who are touch me nots, and
mm-hmm,
they do become, some of them, not all of them, they
mm-hmm,
do come disconnected within their bodies,
absolutely.
because they'll strap them down and act like they're not there. They don't pay attention to them. They don't like them to be touched. They don't want anything about that. So
Mm-hmm.
it is like a thought
It's
process.
real.
And that's
It's real.
scary. And that's scary because they'll be the one that went too long, and it
Yeah,
began drastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I just want to I want to help save us. And to me, it doesn't matter if you are a trans man or a trans woman, or a stud, or a cisgendered woman, or a cis man. Like, just being aware can save your life. Breast cancer is not one of those things where just out the gate it's terminal. It's a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes that, but it becomes that when we are not getting our self checks. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes that when we're not, living a healthy lifestyle that does not make our bodies a place where cancer can come a little quicker. So it's super important that you're just aware, and that's why I think Breast Cancer Month is so important. But I'm really working on something. Because I don't think we should just be talking about it in October.
Mm-hmm.
And, in October we wear pink, and I'll be wearing pink all month. But, I'm also going to go really hard in May. And I'm going
Okay.
to go hard in May only because I feel like that those couple of months could save a life. If the only time you're thinking about breast cancer is once a year, what happens all those other months? So I'm gonna remind you in October, and I'm gonna remind you in May. And guess what? If I see you on the street, I might remind you again. Hey,
Okay.
hey.
Yeah, it is important, and one thing you did touch upon was like, I know a lot, because I hear a lot of them saying because they don't have the insurance to go check,
Yes.
and I think that is a problem within our community, within the world, within everybody, that healthcare for things like that should be reasonable. It should be um where people can go get like preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Should
yeah.
should be
Yeah.
offered for everybody.
I want to say this. A lot of times we neglect. A lot of times it's a lot of programs that are in our communities that we neglect, or we don't know about, or we don't read.
Preach. I was about to say that,
Yeah,
sir.
because I found out about a lot of programs. It's a lot of programs that we just not be aware of. All you have to do is do a little research or talk to somebody, and you
Yes.
can get these different treatments and different
Yes.
things you need, and a lot of times don't pay anything.
Yes.
And
And the
a
thing
lot
is,
of pay, what is the co-pays?
yeah, we can't see what happens a lot of times in our communities is we have this mindset of they have to come to us. Well, how come they're not doing outreach to us? That's why I don't know. You know, but we have to take some ownership in that. And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, or when I had my breast cancer scare, actually, I did not have insurance at all. However, I got into a woman's health program because of the fear that I had I was going to get breast cancer, and that insurance and program paid for everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of research. It's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we don't take advantage of it.
Right.
That's a good point, because I mean, like, if someone gets to the disease, and that's probably the last thing you want to do is be worrying about how the hell you gonna pay for any of this shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's for anyone. That's for, you know, if you have insurance, you know, if you have a savings account, like the financial strain that going through this journey puts on you and your family is something that we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
You know?
So many of us in our community just had that old mindset of not wanting to ever go to the doctor. The older I've got, if I cough or I see a bump or anything, I'm going to. I've got to the point where I'm going to the doctor. I don't care what it is. Cough,
absolutely.
Bump, I'm going. And we just don't want. A lot of us don't want to go to the doctor.
They got them YouTube remedies that they be using.
Okay, Google. Okay, Google gonna have me dying.
I talk about that, about how for the Black community, there are so many factors that make our experience different. And one of those factors is that innately, culturally, we have a mistrust of the healthcare system. And rightfully so, because of the history that we have. But that fear of the healthcare of the healthcare system makes it so that we're not as open and as comfortable. Then on top, I can't tell you how many people said to me, "Why are you on chemo? Just drink this."
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's wrong to say, guys, though. Even if that's what you believe, don't say it like that.
Right.
You know, so that's part of it. Culturally, it's very different. Our experience is very different. And, you know, I talk about that in the book. I talk about that. I talk about the faith factor and how you have some people who are like high conspiracy theories, and they're like, the chemo is really trying to control you. And then you have your church family that's like, let me just lay hands on you and it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So what's the middle?
I believe in the Lord made doctors and all that type of good stuff too.
Listen, I do. I 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. And guess what? They laid hands on me and we prayed, and that was as much a part of my healing as chemo was. I could not have one without the other.
Yeah.
Wow. We kind of skipped past something. When you go, I can't imagine going through what you were going through, and at the same time your father.
Oh,
I cannot imagine.
Good. Let me grab some tissue.
Okay. I don't want to take it there, but when you said that at the beginning, that's the main thing. I told you I'm an emotional person. I thought about. I said, "Oh my God, I went through that. I'm already just over it." And now my dad too.
Yeah.
Do you guys live in the same city? Well, did you guys live in the same city?
Yeah. So we didn't. When he was diagnosed, I moved back home. Moved back to Georgia. I was in New Jersey, so that I could be there for him. And I'm the oldest, so you know I'm like the strong one, and then I had to be not strong.
What? If you don't mind me asking, what age bracket was Father? I'm just trying to picture everything.
Was my daddy?
Yeah, 50s, 60s at this time. 60s. Okay, so that's, to me, that's still young and healthy.
Oh yeah. So it was devastating. What I will say is I was terrified of surgery. And when my dad passed away, the morning before my surgery, it gave me a sense of peace that I never thought that I would have, because I was so afraid. And I felt like, you know, if something happened to me, my dad would be on the other side waiting for me. So that gave me what I needed to go through it. And that actually, because my dad was the closest person that I've ever lost, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so his eyes, when I told him that I had breast cancer, because I wasn't sure if I was going to tell him, he was battling. And when I did tell him, I could see the fear in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, oh gosh, you know, but I knew I had like that, seeing that was part of my fight. But the reality is I just started mourning my dad. And this is, you know, this is years after, because I couldn't. I was in my own battle.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm on the other side and I'm starting to reconnect to who I was, I realize something's missing, and that's my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now I'm mourning.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in a space where, you know, I'm missing him because I can actually feel and focus again.
Yeah.
I like how you said that you had the strength to go through the surgeries and everything, because you knew either way, however this went, I was gonna, if I stay here, I'm with my family. If I don't stay here, I'm going. I like that. That touched me. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Good.
lot.
Well, okay. Well, Onyx, we really appreciate you stopping by and sharing your story. I want to make sure that everybody knows where they can find the book,
Yes.
how to follow you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the book is currently available on Amazon, and it's called Facing It Together. And it's definitely something that I would suggest, even just getting and gifting to someone, even if it's, you know, maybe it's a coworker and you know their sister is going through it. And you can follow me. I'm Onyx Keesha on all social media platforms. So please follow me. And right now I'm doing a campaign, 31 Days of Truth, and it's all about I'm dropping a fact about breast cancer every day that is centered on Black women in breast cancer on my social media platforms. I'm also a television producer and a film producer. So, you know, you guys can follow my work on TV One, on Peacock, on Tubi, and you know, yeah, I do. I do. I specialize in true crime television. So
Fatal Attraction.
I do. I am. Listen, that I'm on my 4th season of producing Fatal Attraction.
I watched every one of them probably about 3 times a piece, but okay.
Too funny. But, you know, just follow, just, you know, reach out to me. And whether you're reaching out to me about breast cancer or my breast cancer journey, or it's about just rediscovering and reclaiming and reigniting the fire inside of you to live in your truth, like that's what I specialize in. And me going through cancer just reminded me of my calling to do so. So I am accessible, and you know, I want to have dialogue and conversation. So it's Onyx Keesha on all social media platforms.
Awesome. So you said you have what is today's lesson for us to know before
Hold on,
we
hold
go?
on,
Yeah,
hold on.
before we got, I feel like that's how we should end it.
Yes, yes.
You know?
And it, because it is a myth. Um, ready, guys?
Yes.
So the myth is that finding a lump always means you have breast cancer. And so while a lump can be a sign of breast cancer, there are many non-cancerous causes. And it's important to do your self-check and not panic. Do your self-check and let your doctor determine if there's cause for concern, okay? Because some people don't do a self-check because they're scared. They don't want to find it. But finding a lump, it doesn't always mean breast cancer.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. Well, we definitely got to have this conversation again. It was a great conversation. I think it could have lasted definitely longer than an hour. But, you know, we're going to take what we can get, and we really appreciate you coming through and blessing us with your story. And, you know, you learn something new every day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm a fan of the show. And, you know, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And hopefully we're saving some lives.
Thank you for Thank you for telling your story. I'm gonna make sure I follow you on all your platforms. And also, if you're having an event or having something, please reach out. I'd love to participate and help out.
Awesome.
I got plenty
Thank
of pink
you.
shirts. I'm ready.
Yay. Awesome.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all know what time it is. It's the end of the show. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you follow us every week. We are here every Thursday at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You never know what happens. And this is Talk That Ish, man. I'm Sabrina.
Okay, and it's your boy Larry Blue 1914 _ You can follow me on all social media platforms with that.
Remember what I always say, at the end of the day gonna end.
We'll end.
So we'll holler at y'all.
Okay, peace out.